All right, guys. So I wasn't really going to stream today. COVID's still making me feel a little funky, kind of like my ups and downs. I'm running a fever now, but I'm feeling okay. And I saw this video here from Keemstar on Drama Alert about Danny Duncan. I haven't watched it yet. I watched like about 30 seconds, see what, like, give it the gist of it. I found that there's a core video here from the girl. We're gonna watch her allegations first, then Keemstar, and we might dive into the older stuff. It's really not that old. It's like 10 days old, if that. Kind of, again, apparently Danny Duncan responded to this guy too. I watched a little bit of his video a while ago. I was a little burnt out on it though. You know, I will say one thing from what I got so far. It's I will say one thing, as as much as I'm not a fan of Keemstar, he does seem to be trying to be a good person. You know, like he seems to be covering this with a professional air. I'll give him credit for that. I feel like he seems to like listen to criticism at the very least. Thank you for the sub. So good on Keemstar for trying to do the right thing. Anyway, let's watch this. Apparently, there are grooming allegations from Danny Duncan. He's 29 now. She's 14. She was 14 then. So I'm going to assume she's like 19 now. Thank you so much for the sub. I'm going to mute those for now. Sorry. Let's just get into this.
My name's Eva. I'm 19, and I was a victim of Danny Duncan.
Now, the first thing I want to say here is that like grooming is a very heavy allegation. Though if she was 14 and he was 24, I mean, it's hard to debate it. But like we talk about a lot, grooming is a very methodical process of going out of your way to be very manipulative and creating a relationship with somebody, etc., etc. But let's just see what she has to say.
Before I start this video, I just want to make it clear that this isn't about money or clout or any of those things that people seem to think come with something like this. But what I really want it to be about is, I know that Danny's hurt a lot of people, and if me coming out can make them feel safer coming out, or if even this can prevent the same thing or something similar from happening to someone else, that's enough for me. If I have to take the heat for that, then I will. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's get into why I'm here. Danny Duncan and I started talking in September 2016 when I was 14 and he was 24.
Okay. See, this is one of the problems here. I believe that her age and everything. I would hope that she has some kind of evidence, though. Like maybe like just that, I don't know, a picture of him on Snapchat and their mutuals or something. This is a very heavy accusation to leverage against somebody.
Started talking in September 2016 when I was 14 and he was 24.
Yeah, and this seems to be like a driver's license to prove that she was 14.
24. I slid up on one of his Snapchat stories just thinking it was funny. I never really thought he was going to respond. I was a really big fan. But he did respond, and we talked almost every day for almost 4 years.
Jesus. I would on Snapchat, or did they get like a different thing?
Everyone at my school knew that I talked to Danny.
Okay, hold on. I'm a little fast here.
Almost 4 years.
Got my fucking boomer knowledge.
Everyone at my school knew that I talked.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's Danny Duncan. It says Danny Duncan. Okay. How would we figure out if they're mutuals? I think that's an important thing.
Danny, they would watch me Snapchat him in school.
Okay, I mean that seems like fairly credible. Okay.
My girlfriends, like at sleepovers, they would see him send me, chat pictures in the.
Okay. Jesus. Okay, so is his Snapchat Danny Duncan 69? They had a small streak going on, which means you're right. They had a small streak going on, which means that they were sending stuff back and forth, for at least 3 days in a row at that point. Give me 1 second. So his Snapchat is Danny Duncan 69, right? I'm only asking because like I know that these things can get like weird. Like you can like just follow a person. It doesn't seem like he has it anymore. He has quite a snap score though. Okay. Wouldn't have a star next to his name. It could possibly be his personal Snapchat. Okay. The smiley face in the name means that they're best friends. Okay.
The shower. Um, he would always ask me for pictures.
Because this was like 5 years ago, so things would obviously change. I imagine he was like, he might have had like an alternative to Snapchat and something like that. You know,
He didn't really
people are saying his Snapchat is fucking Gary. So
care how I felt about it. He just wouldn't really take no for. He would always ask me for pictures. He didn't really care how I felt about it. He just wouldn't really take no for an answer on those kinds of things. As we talked more and more, he would try to pressure me into meeting up with him. And in my opinion, it was pretty obvious that I was really nervous and hesitant because he would be like, oh, can I come see you this month? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know, maybe, for example, in February. And then February would come and he would be like, oh, can I come see you? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know, maybe in June. Like, I wasn't ready. And, sorry. So as time went on and I wasn't meeting up with him, he would kind of make me feel bad about it. Like, it's not a matter of me not wanting to. It's just like, how would I explain that to my parents? Like, where I'm going? Like, it's just, like, I was in high school, like, and he knew that. But as time went on, he would just tell me, oh, I don't think you like me. I don't think you really like me. And so eventually, in August 2018, my grandparents were out of town, and I told him that he could come and he could book his flight, and he did. It was an overnight flight. It was not cheap. So I really wasn't ready to meet him. I just wanted to make him happy, I guess. And so he booked his flight, and as the time got closer, I just was more nervous. And I was so scared of what he might have to say if I tried to cancel. Like, because he kept saying, like, you better not flake on me. Like, so I was really scared of what he would have to say if I tried to cancel, because he also kept telling me how expensive the flight was. And I'm trigger warning, but that night I actually ended up trying to take my own life, and I'm not blaming Danny for that.
Well,
but,
I mean, you would be blaming
he did
him for
know
that.
about my.
And if this is true, then it would be his fault if you had. I mean, like, it sounds like a 24-year-old is trying to pressure a 14-year-old into sex. I mean, first of all, like, listen, that's not even an acceptable age range anywhere really. It's like an indefensible. Like, what do you even have in common with somebody that's 10 years younger than you? But yeah, if he was pressuring you, like, you would be blaming him, and it would be totally justifiable.
Mental illnesses, and I do feel that sometimes he kind of used that to his advantage. Yeah, I told Danny that I was going to the hospital before I went, and then I was hospitalized for a week. And when I got out, I checked my phone and I had messages from Danny saying, I knew you would flake. Like, instead of asking if I was okay, granted, he didn't know what happened, but he did know I was in the hospital and that it was bad. And he got mad at me because I didn't.
One thing, listen, I understand skepticism of this because there doesn't seem to be a lot of verifiable proof, but also the instant assumption that it could not have been real. I think you guys should try to have an open mind. So
let him come to the hospital, even though I told him, I was like, how would I explain that to my family? Like, I'm a minor. And he was just mad at me when I got out of the hospital, basically. So after that, he still wanted to meet up with me. We continued to talk. And then in January 2019, I finally got tired of him calling me a flake. And I
2 years ago
had him book another flight, and that time we actually met up. Things were weird. Like, he wouldn't let me really go on my phone. I guess because he didn't want me taking pictures, because he didn't want people knowing he was with me because of my age, I'm assuming. One thing I vividly remember was he asked me for my ID at one point, and I just laughed, and I was like, I don't have one. And he was like, how old are you again? And I told him I was 16. And then after that, we had sex, and that was the only time I ever saw Danny in person, because he wanted to see me after that. He kept pressuring me.
So she said that this happened over like a course of multiple years. So they've been doing this, they've been talking for a couple of years, and now they apparently slept together when she was 16 and he was 26, I guess.
To see me again, but I really was just tired of him calling me a flake and saying I didn't care, and I just wanted to make him happy. In September 2019, he was on tour, and I wanted to go, and I wanted to bring a friend. And at first he was down with it. He was like, yeah, I'll just get you into the show, like, don't worry about a ticket. But then last minute, he changed his mind. He was like, I don't want anyone to see me near you, like, I don't want people to know. And he would constantly tell me, like, oh, like, you can't tell anyone, like, you could ruin my career, like, you could get me put in jail. And so, like, part of me didn't want to come out because I felt guilty, because, you know, I'm doing kind of exactly what he was.
This one's interesting. No message proof. Good timing though, because of the Aaron situation, but literally no proof. LOL. A screenshot of a like streak. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing for me. Like, it's not a lot. I mean, I don't even know if that's necessarily his Snapchat or if it's a private one. But my thing is like, let's keep this in mind here, right? With the little snap streak deck here, and like this little thing here. I think it's something to keep in mind. Like, why the fuck do you have a snap streak with a fucking 14-year-old when you're 24? For 3 days, I'm not saying it definitely happened, but you did it for like 3 days. Like, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense for a 14-year-old and a 24-year-old to maintain a snap streak for any level of time, even 3 days, pictures back and forth. So it lends credibility. It doesn't prove it. But, like, at the very least, this is something to listen to and not just completely dismiss because people are uncomfortable. I know people like to jump to, like, this can't be true because people don't want to think that there's horrible things that happen in the world. But so far, I think she has a level of credibility. I'm not saying that it happened because we don't have enough proof, of course. But, it's to completely dismiss it instantly, I think, is ignorant.
He did help me with that.
Sorry.
He changed his mind last minute. Or he changed his mind last minute.
I fucked myself up with this.
So, like, part of me didn't.
I should have.
And at first he was down with it. He was like, yeah, I'll just get you into the show, like, don't worry.
Okay, sorry, I'm like close
After
to
that, he kept pressuring me to see me again, but I really was just tired of him calling me a flake and saying I didn't care. And
so what state did they have sex in when she was 16? Because here's the thing, right? Like, we talk about like grooming being like a very methodical thing. What's weird to me is this guy would have slept with her at 14 years old. Originally, apparently, because he went to meet up with her beforehand, unless maybe she didn't tell him her age. Which I don't know. I don't even know how much I believe that. But I mean, like, him talking to her since 14 years old, and then like, hey, let's meet up when you're 16, kind of a thing, in your state, because technically it's legal. Like, I would consider that grooming. Like, he prepped her up for like for sex. So yeah, like, it does. That's the thing, is that just because it's legal now doesn't make it appropriate, because he developed a relationship with this girl at a very inappropriate time in order to generate a bunch of confidence and trust onto him. So
I just wanted to make him happy. In September 2019, he was on tour, and I wanted to go, and I wanted to bring a friend. And at first he was down with it. He was like, yeah, I'll just get you into the show, like, don't worry about a ticket. But then last minute, he changed his mind. He was like, I don't want anyone to see me near you, like, I don't want people to know. And he would constantly tell me, like, oh, like, you can't tell anyone, like, you could ruin my career, like, you could get me put in jail. And so, like, part of me didn't want to come out because I felt guilty, because, you know, I'm doing kind of exactly what he was scared I was going to do. But now that I'm older, I realized that he was scared I was going to do that because what he was doing was wrong. So, but yeah, in September 2019, he was on tour. He changed his mind last minute, and one of my friends had already bought meet and greet tickets, and I needed money at the time because of, like, family issues, and he did help me with that. I don't even want to thank him for that, because I feel like he probably gave me the money just kind of to keep me quiet.
I would ask, how did he give you the money? Like, did he give her the money in person or through like a PayPal? Or how did he do it? Because it's one of those situations where you have to have a good amount of proof for this stuff.
But
Excuse
he did
me,
help me
sorry.
out. But keep in mind, he didn't want me to go to the show. So I wasn't allowed to go to the show. But he wanted me to meet up with him after, but it was still pretty far from where I live, and I didn't drive. So I didn't really know how I was going to get there, especially if he wasn't going to let me get into the show. Like, I'm not going to go with my friend if there's nowhere for me to go. And so my friend goes to the show, and he had meet and greet. So when he did meet and greet, he mentioned to Danny, oh, like, I know, my friend Eva, she's a huge fan.
Okay, so someone said her friend went to the tour and wrapped the cash in a shirt and gave it to the friend. Okay.
Yada yada. And then after the show was over, I have some messages of me talking to Danny. He was responding to me on Snapchat, but if you look at the date and also.
Okay. Guess this is him. Bounce, check your snap. Give him your shoes. He will cry. He won't. He won't stop talking about them. Check snap.
So the dates of the tour, it lines up to exactly when he was.
So 5th.
Closest to where I live in North Carolina. So
Okay.
but he was responding on Snapchat because he would always do that because he was covering his checks, I guess. That's why it's so hard for me to have proof, is because he wanted to do everything over Snapchat. But he met up with my friend after the meet and greet, went to his car, and my friend wanted his shoes off of his feet. So that's why I texted him, like, oh, give him his shoes. And he gave him a shirt, and it was rubber banded. And inside that shirt was $1,200. And I don't know, somehow Danny thought that my friend didn't know there was money in the shirt, and that he really thought that he was just bringing me a shirt. Yeah, early 2020, maybe late 2019 is when Danny and I stopped talking, and the older I got, I just realized how disgusting what he did is, considering this man, I mean, now he's almost 30, so, like, I was 14, he was 24, like, and also I looked up to him. I was a huge fan, so, but in my
Some
head,
of these comments are so dumb. Sounded like you were messaging him too and understood what was involved. Some people are so stupid. Some of you guys are so dumb. Like, oh, well, yeah, you're 14-year-old, you were complicit too. It's like, okay, it's like a willingness versus consent conversation, right? Like, you being willing as a child doesn't mean that you can consent as a child. These people are fucking insane.
at the time, like, I really thought that he wanted to marry me one day, and he was going to save me. And
Yeah, his
that
fans are a
just
bunch of
Danny
kids.
Duncan loved me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like a lot of times, like, the fans are a bunch of children. Like, I understand skepticism. I totally get it, right? Because obviously there's there's quite a bit of missing information here, and that's because he seems to go through Snapchat, right? So we can't prove that he did this, okay? And I understand not like being like, hey, listen, there's not enough information. I wouldn't. I get that. I get that you may not believe her because of that. But this is the generally invalidating rhetoric of like, oh, well, you knew what was happening. She's like, she was 14, you fucking idiot. You know what I mean? I understand skepticism, but
And I believed him because that's what he told me. And I look back on it now, and I just wish I could see it for what it was, because looking back on it now, it's just so obvious, and it doesn't even sound real. I actually did try coming out about this about a year ago on TikTok, and I got harassed for months. I still get DMs till this day. I tried.
right here, my whole school knew. If your whole school, did she say her whole school knew? Then why did no one say anything? I don't know. If a bunch of kids knew, I guess if her friends knew, they probably thought it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Going to the police. They till this day. I tried going to the police. They were basically useless.
Well, I mean, she has no evidence. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they're not going to be able to do much. You know? It's so weird. Real victims, police, internet, cloud chasers, internet police. I feel like you really need to talk to real victims to understand that, like, it's the real survivors, you'd call them. They don't go to the police or the internet usually. Like, police, a lot of times, this shit's very complicated. It depends on the type of situation. Some people do go to the police. Sometimes they may not have known what's happened. It can take a few days to process. By then, a rape kit isn't even, like, doable. There's a lot of shit going on, man. Just some of these comments are just so disconnected.
I did want to pursue it legally, but it was just difficult for me being 19. Like, I don't have the funds for a lawyer, and finding one that was going to do it for free, like, it was just really hard. So this is really just the best I can do. And I really hope that I don't get harassed again. I'm hoping that now other people feel safe coming out. Because I know there are other girls out there. There are multiple girls who have reached out to me.
Like this one right here. If you were 14 and you're 19 or 20 now, why would you wait 5 or 6 years? Probably because she thought it was cool originally. She was like, oh, an older famous guy's talking to me. Like, oh, that's so cool. And then she talked to him, and he would say things that make her uncomfortable because he may have been, right? Because we don't have like 100% proof. He may have said things, he may have been like sexual, and she was like, oh, that makes me uncomfortable, but it's like a cool guy, and I want him to like me. I don't want to turn him down. And like, these are just very easy to answer. Again, I get skepticism, but some of these are just so dumb.
With proof as well. There are other girls who have posted proof and also got harassed. So, I really hope that this video can help you. My phone died, but I just wanted to finish saying that I hope that this video is useful. I hope that other people feel safe coming out now, because I know you're out there. And for all of you who are fans, I hope that you can see this for what it really is.
Somebody said, for me, it's not the proof in the video. It just seems off. Yeah, I understand what you mean. She might seem a little off. That could be explained by her lying, or it could be explained by her making a video for people to potentially watch. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds weird. Sorry, either my vision is blurry, or I know it sounds like a little weird. My vision blurry? I think my vision is blurry. But you know, when you come on and start talking to people, especially with the intention of them seeing it, you know, it can get very like nerve-wracking. It can get very nerve-wracking. So that could be what it is as well.
Because there really is nothing good that comes from posting something like this. And I know it's hard when you look up to someone like that, because I looked up to him too.
Is my webcam blurry, or is it actually my vision? Can you guys tell me? Because I think I'm going ballistic right now.
So I really hope you guys can look at it logically and find it in your hearts to see that he's genuinely just a terrible person, and we don't need him out there hurting more people. So.
Okay. All right. We got that. All right. Very interesting. Again, I know I've said it multiple times already, but I understand the skepticism. There does seem to be a little bit of evidence to suggest they may have been talking. And even if it doesn't prove that they slept together, it's bizarre that a 24-year-old has a 3-day snap streak with a fucking 14-year-old. That shit's weird as hell. There's like literally no reason for that to be a thing. What do you have in common? All right, let's see what Keemstar has to say. So far, so good.
What is up?
I just can't with the fucking intro.
Trauma Alert Nation. I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Today we have a...
I will say one thing. It doesn't prove her story, but a lot of people are saying it's for clout. I feel like, yeah, sometimes people can lie for like attention and stuff, but I don't know. Based on this audience that Danny Duncan has, I feel like the clout grab wouldn't really work. You know, like what clout do you think she wants? Do you think she's ready to make content? That was her only video. You know, I'm just saying.
A very serious topic. I'm sure you can tell by the title and thumbnail. On the line, we have Eva, who uploaded this video last night to YouTube, The Truth About Danny Duncan, where she goes into details about a relationship she started with Danny Duncan when she was 14 and he was 24. And apparently this started in 2016. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you speak up just a tad?
Yeah, sorry.
So what happens? You're a fan, you reach out to him and you guys just start talking?
Yeah, I slid up on one of his Snapchat stories, I think with like laughing emojis or something, and I didn't really think he would respond, but then he did, and from then on, we started talking.
So you start talking back and forth. I'm sure he asked your age, right?
Yeah, he did know that I was in high school, and he didn't seem to care.
What age did you tell him?
Yeah, that's a good question because knowing that you're in high school is different than like what age are you? You know, technically he could think that she's only she's 18, which is still like inappropriate. But you know, it's
You were
15, but I was 14.
So you
okay. So
lied about your age. You said you were 15.
that doesn't even make it much better. Like, if what's this defense will be? Well, she said she was 15 when I was 24. It doesn't really make it any better. You know, she by her account, her lying is like it doesn't really make it any better.
I did end up telling him after like a month. I was like, by the way, I'm actually 14.
Okay. So he knew you were 14 at some point. Now, what were these
Sorry,
conversations?
even the 15 though, it's just as bad, really. I guess slightly better. Would we say that? But not really, you know.
Back and forth in 2016, you know, when you were 14.
Well, at first, I would just kind of talk to him about stuff, kind of like referencing the videos, and it was like that for a few weeks, like just kind of normal conversations. But then after a few weeks, that's when it kind of started getting like sexual.
And you were talking to him on Snapchat, correct?
Yeah, it was pretty much almost always on Snapchat.
All right. So the Snapchat you were talking to him on is the Danny Duncan 69. Now that's his old Snapchat.
Okay. Hey, see, there we go. It was his old. So that actually is that's his Snapchat. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that he had linked in all of his videos back then.
Right. Now you have proof that you guys were talking back and forth because
yeah, we had a streak, and then we were also
it was 5. It was a streak of 5. That's even worse. Because that's just so weird. I have a streak of like 1,100 with my wife, but like, why do you have a streak with because that means you send pictures back and forth, my understanding, or videos, or maybe it's just pictures. But that means that they're sending a picture every day. So even if it's not sexual, it doesn't matter. It's weird for a 24-year-old to talk to, even if he thought she was 15. Like, what? For why? It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. It's really gross and uncomfortable either way. It doesn't make any sense.
On each other's best friends list.
Okay.
Which is what that emoji means.
So,
oh, is that what that means? So that's what that emoji means? No, you can't just talk to a 15. No. Yeah, is that what you're trying to say? Like, maybe they're just talking? No, it's weird. Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the snap streaks come from pictures.
So you're sending him pictures. Is he sending you pictures?
Yeah, like all the time. It would be almost all day.
Okay. And he's sending you pictures of what?
Like his...
Okay. Yeah. We got it. We got it.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So you're sending pictures back and forth. How long does this go on for?
Almost 4 years, because we stopped talking in like early 2020.
You stopped talking in early 2020. It's going on for 4 years. Did you meet up with him?
Yeah, one time when I was 16 and he was 26.
And he came to you. You went to him. How did this happen?
He flew to me. He was already mad at me because of when I had, in his words, flaked on him before when he tried to come to see me.
Now, how old are you the first time he was trying to come to see you?
That was August 2018, so I was 16.
You were 16. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the age of 16, after 2 years of sending videos and pictures back and forth between both of you,
it's just so weird because my understanding is Snapchat, like you can do that in a professional context. I do get it. Some people have Snapchats and they just use it as a social media kind of a thing, like almost similar to TikTok in some senses. They put stories up and stuff, but there's no reason for you to be responding to any of your fans, really, especially if you're an adult with like kid fans. It's weird. You shouldn't be responding to them at all. It's very bizarre, you know? Like, listen, if you want to be if you're like 26 and like a fucking 25 or, you know, a 20-year-old says, haha, it's such a funny, like, you want to shoot your shot, I really don't care. But like, you got a fucking kid, especially if you have like a child audience. It's just so fucking weird. Snapchat is the most suspicious app ever, dude. It's so fucking weird.
He decides to actually come and do the deed. Why did you flake the first time? What happened?
I honestly just really wasn't ready, and I was really, really nervous, and I was scared of what he was going to say if I tried to cancel, because he kept telling me like how expensive the flight was and that I better not flake. And that was the night of my
you had an attempt. You had an how do we word this? You went to the hospital for self harm, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told him that I was going to the hospital before I went, because, you know, I wasn't going to have my phone. And he was just mad that I wouldn't let him come visit me. And I kept saying, like, how would I explain to my parents why Danny Duncan is coming to visit me?
Right.
And I don't
Make a wish.
like I don't understand.
Oh, Make a Wish Foundation. Oh, I wish there was a pedophile. They could visit me in the hospital. I guess that would what you would do.
But then when I got out of the hospital after that week, I just had a bunch of messages of him being mad because I had flaked.
So eventually he does come and see you, and you don't flake on him. How old are you when he comes to see you? Like what happens then?
I was still 16.
Okay.
And he Ubered me to his hotel room. He came straight to the city I lived in. Like literally the next day. I was like, what are you doing tomorrow? And he was here the next day.
And you guys did the deed? He's what, 26?
Sorry, I have to see what.
Like literally the next day. Hotel room. I was still 16.
Okay.
And he Ubered me to his hotel room. He came straight to the city I lived in. Like literally the next day. I was like, what are you doing tomorrow? And he was here the next day.
I was trying to
you
see if
guys
they
did
said the city.
The
I was just
deed?
curious.
He's what, 26 at the time? You're 16?
Yeah. And
Now, I asked if there's like what kind of proof that you have that this went down, or who are the witnesses or whatever. You said your friend was with you when you were FaceTiming him back and forth right before you guys ended up hooking up. And your friend sent in an audio clip of basically, what she saw. We're going to play that now. Roll it.
So back in December 2018, I was hanging out with her and she was showing me how she was talking to Danny on Snapchat. I was 15 and she was 16 and they were sending Snapchats back and forth in which he had sent her multiple nude pictures. Later in the night, Danny called her on FaceTime and I stayed in the room while they were on the phone. But during the call, he wanted to see her like chest area bouncing and she asked me to jump on the bed so it would bounce. And I remember afterwards, she told me that he was planning to visit her once she was 18, but at the time, we didn't realize that she was being taken advantage of like she was.
Wow.
Yeah, they're fucking kids. Of course they wouldn't understand that. It's even weirder. Like if he actually said that, like, oh, I'll meet you when you're 18. That's like that definitely like what are you doing? Because that means that you're knowingly creating a relationship with a child in order to get to a point where you're ready to fuck them when they become, or sleep with them. Excuse me for my callousness. Get ready to like physically engage with them once they turn of age. It's fucking disgusting.
Okay, so other than your friend, who else knew that you had this relationship with Danny Duncan? Did like people at school know?
everyone at my school knew. Like
Literally everyone at your high school.
Yeah, like I don't like dox my high school, but like literally everyone at school, like, because he would Snapchat me while I was in class and stuff, and people would watch because everyone thought it was like cool.
And well, obviously you're, famous guy Snapchatting you. You're showing it off to other people or whatever, right?
Yeah, like my friends knew. Like we thought it was cool. We thought it was crazy. It's like, oh, why is Danny Duncan, talking to me? He did meet me when I was a virgin. I hadn't really done anything, and then this is kind of
Danny Duncan took your virginity.
No, he didn't take my virginity, but he did know about like everything that happened. Like, cause I lost it to SA, and he knew that, and he was like there for me or whatever.
Jesus.
But then at the same time, he was
I wouldn't usually consider that losing your virginity then. I mean, that's really, I guess, like a personal decision for somebody who's sexually assaulted. I wouldn't consider that like losing your virginity, but
grown man grooming me. So, but he knew everything that went on in my life because like grown man grooming. He was like there for me or whatever. But then at the same time, he was a grown man grooming me. So, but he knew everything that went on in my.
it's like interesting because if that is true, there's no reason to doubt it. But from what there does seem to be like people who tend to be survivors, especially young kids that are survivors. The pattern tends to repeat itself, right? Like, so this is a young girl who was sexually assaulted, and then now, it seems like there are a lot of cases where they become susceptible to being taken advantage of in general. So now it seems like Danny Duncan took advantage of like her abuse just to get closer to her. That's based on what she's saying, of course.
My life because like I trusted him.
I mean, if these allegations are true, he's 20. It starts when he's 24 and you're 14. I mean, that is grooming. If these allegations are true, you talked something about him paying you off. Can you explain that? Like what do you mean by him paying you off?
I wouldn't like in the situation. He wasn't necessarily paying me off. Like I had some family issues that I don't really want to elaborate on, but he knew why I needed the money and he was willing to give it to me. But
how much money did he give you?
$1,200, and I don't know. It just felt like the only reason he did it was because he was scared of what I might ever say. Because all the time he would tell me like, "You could ruin my career. You could get me put in jail." So,
how did he give you the $1,200? Is there a paper trail of this?
I mean, I guess I do have another witness, which is the guy who retrieved the money for me. But I was
Why do you think Keemstar reporting on this is weird? What makes you say that?
supposed to go to his tour, and he was going to get me and a friend in. He was like, "Don't worry about a ticket. I'll just get you in." But then last minute, as the time got closer, he was like, "Oh no, I don't want you to come. Like, I'm so scared. Like, I don't want people to like see me around you. Like, people are going to know." And so last minute, he didn't want me to go. And I told him, but my friend already got a ticket with meet and greet and everything. And I think it was Danny's idea that he could give the money to my friend to bring to me.
So he gives the money to your friend, and then your friend gives you the money, the $1,200.
Yeah,
Is it
but
cash?
he wrapped, yeah, it was in cash, but he
I
wrapped.
don't think he's grilling her at all. I think he's asking like important questions. To be honest with you, the way that Keemstar is like doing this seems to be as like definitely more professional than I would expect of him. He's talking about the situation very delicately. He's not saying that it definitely happened, and he's asking her questions, and she's giving her opportunity to speak her truth. Like, this is actually very well done from Keemstar. So, yeah, I feel like this is actually decent.
Wrapped it in a tour t-shirt and rubber banded it, and it was just like, give the shirt to your friend. And he didn't think that my friend knew about the money.
Oh, so your friend actually looked inside of the shirt.
Yeah, well, my friend
I imagine you would feel something in the side of the shirt.
what was going on, because I told him, because like, I did need the money.
Do you have text conversations going back and forth with each other at all? Or is it all in Snapchat you're communicating with him?
Well, I did, but they were on my old phones, and I tried to like check in my iCloud, but the only message I have left that came from him was the one that said bounce, which was when I was with my friend on that day.
And he wanted the friend to jump in the bed.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, is that what the bounce means? Okay.
Text from me to him when he was on tour, but he was responding to me on Snapchat, but that's why I was like, check Snapchat.
People are gonna want to know, they're gonna want to see proof. And the main thing people are gonna say is why social media? Why come forward with this? Why not go to the police?
Well, there's nothing to go to the police. I think she even said in their thing though that the police couldn't do anything.
Well, I did try going to the police. Told me the guy didn't know he was.
It's kind of hard to believe that the whole school knew, but none of them spoke out. Though this is like 5 years ago though, and I also think that like, I don't know, if you personalize a situation when she says the whole school knew, I feel like that's a weird exaggeration. People like, I doubt anybody. So some people in the school might have been like, "Oh my God, that actually is Danny Duncan." Or at the time that the school knew about it, some of the kids in the school, it could have just been like, "Oh, he sent like a picture or two back and forth." It may have been nothing sexual, or maybe they just didn't believe her, or nobody believed, because the adults at the school probably aren't listening to the gossip, because people say a bunch of dumb shit all the time. There's a lot going on.
Talking about, and he didn't really listen to me. And he just said he only listened about the part when we met up. And he said, just because you're 18 now and you regret it doesn't mean there's anything I can do. But actually it's breaking federal law because he crossed state lines, and he didn't even know that.
Well, the age of consent, the way I understand it, in your state is 16, and you hooked up with him when he was when you were 16, excuse me, and he was 26, correct?
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm not sure how much like grooming is like. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't think in every state if grooming has like a legal term. Or if it's necessarily like illegal. I know that sounds so weird. I've been like looking into it a lot because there's a lot of nuance to grooming. So honestly, he probably, unless she had pictures of course and stuff, that's what she would need. She would need like conversation, like sexual conversation before she was, age of consent in her state. He probably would get off scot-free, which is really fucked up.
But since he flew here and he crossed state lines, it's still breaking federal law because I wasn't 18.
Well, the law broken that I see is, if these allegations are true, is, I mean, when you're 14, he's sending.
I'm not 100% sure if that's true. I guess I'll look into that.
Sending pictures to you, and you're sending pictures to him. And it's all happening on Snapchat.
And that's what the cop told me. The cop told me, he was like, if you can prove that with a timestamp, then there's something you can do. And then I actually found those things. So I do have them now, but I can't post that on the internet.
Why?
Right, because they're nudes.
I can't. Yeah, like I can't post that.
You can't post graphic pictures on the internet. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, then I guess you have something to go to the police with.
Well, now that you have this, are you going to go file an actual police report? Because I know we did reach out to Danny Duncan's people, and they basically denied all the allegations. I don't even know if I can say it came from Danny Duncan's team. I was instructed to say publicly to you, the audience, that somebody close to Danny Duncan is saying that these allegations are untrue. So they wouldn't even go on record and say Danny Duncan is saying it's untrue. I have to say someone close. Well, anyhow, which I found was super fishy. But, I want to put that out there, that someone close to Danny Duncan is saying that these allegations are untrue. Are All right. I mean, we're just gonna have to leave it at that. But
Well, I wish we pushed her a little bit on this question.
which I found was, and say Danny Duncan is, I was instructed, he did reach out to Danny Duncan. Now that you have this, are you going to go file an actual police report? Because I know we did reach out to Danny Duncan's people.
Yeah, wait, so that it's just a good question to ask, but then he kind of just kept talking, I think on accident, and we never got, I don't think we're going to get an answer then.
You're going to go file an actual police report? Because I know...
And then he like keeps talking and goes on a tangent about the Danny Duncan thing.
We did reach out to Danny Duncan's people, came from Danny Duncan is saying that these allegations are untrue. So they wouldn't even go on record and say Danny Duncan is saying it's untrue. I have to say someone close. Well, anyhow, which I found was super fishy. But, I want to put that out there that someone close to Danny Duncan is saying that these allegations are untrue. All right. I mean, we're just going to have to leave it at that. But, are you going to go to the police and file a police report now that you have, this evidence?
Yeah, I think now I'm ready because since I've gone through years of stuff, I really have compiled like enough of those pictures with timestamps.
Do you think there's more victims? Do you think there's more underage girls that Danny was interacting with?
I know for sure there are. There was another girl who actually posted proof as well with pictures with him and everything.
What happened?
Is there, what is this? Okay. It's her. Well, that's interesting. How old is this, though? So she doesn't have them posted anymore, I don't think. Yeah, she doesn't seem to have them posted anymore. From what I'm seeing. I looked up her her TikTok. It doesn't seem like they exist anymore. Yeah, like there's this, that's nothing. Wait, maybe this is it. Okay. This is an older one too. This is from 2020. Why are people defending him so hard? Okay. Okay. I guess there's proof that he talked to people. Did they hang out together? Were they date? I don't really know how old this girl is. This one's a little bit. There's not like is this okay. Okay. I don't really know what to do with all this. 15th birthday. Is this it? Do you have a Danny Duncan thing? I don't know. Okay. There's really not a lot there. Okay.
What happened to that girl?
I can after tour.
I don't really want to speak on it because it's her thing to speak on. But
because
well, it seemed like they hung out and got pictures. How old was she?
Do you know this?
I mean, he might want to come out now that I've come out too. She might feel safer about it.
I do know this. Danny Duncan has very, very passionate fans, and
yeah,
I know you made a TikTok and you just got. This was like what in 2020?
Yeah, and it was awful, the harassment I got, and I knew that it was gonna kind of happen again when I came out.
They're fucking little dickheaded troll kids, honestly. Like even if they're right, you would handle these reasonably,
Again, but it's just I'm trying to do it for like the greater good because I know there are other girls out there because I had multiple like reach out to me when I came out last year, like with their own proof. So
do your parents know about this situation?
My mom does.
Whew. We'll do a follow-up with you after you file the police report. That's one thing that, anyone listening to the story is going to want to see. They're going to see a police report. If they see that, even that in their minds, like, this is a serious allegation. So,
yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's serious. It's caused me a lot of grief and a lot of therapy. So,
well, I'm sorry that, you went through this and, I don't know. We're going to have to leave it at that, but we're going to stand this story, ladies and gentlemen. If there are more, allegations that come out from other people, we'll keep you up to date on all of that.
Yeah, I've actually, okay. I mean, honestly, the most impressed I am is how, the way that Keemstar handled that. I thought that was probably right on point. Because he didn't just, like, I think he maintained professionalism when it came to that. He was a bit skeptical, which I think everybody should be, because there's no, like, I don't think there's enough proof. it seems like there's enough evidence to suggest that he would develop an inappropriate relationship with young people, right? Like, there's no reason to have a 5 snap score with a 14-year-old. That's fucking weird. Even if it's not sexual, it's very inappropriate. But we would obviously, that, you know, her saying that she has enough proof to go to the police now, she should go to the police. I think he, of course you have to ask questions. So, I think Keemstar did pretty well there. It sounds credible. I would say that she doesn't sound non-credible, but again, we have, innocent until proven guilty. Okay. Let's see here. So with that going on, people a while ago asked me to talk about this too, the truth about Danny Duncan from Sun Hat Kid. I don't know too much about this guy, but I'm curious to review a bit of this situation. He apparently responds to it, and then apparently Keemstar also mentions it, saying that Danny Duncan isn't guilty. So, we'll see what's going on with that. That's with this guy.
My name is Sun Hat Kid. You guys already know that.
So let's get this going.
I'm not gonna wear this hat for this video today because this is a serious subject. And you guys can tell by the title of this video what it's going to be about.
It's a little weird that he's like, I'm not gonna wear this hat. So you probably could have just taken it off before the video started. But
I had a friend. His name was Danny. A lot of people told me not to talk about this subject. My friend's family told me not to talk about this subject because they said what it could do to me. But I feel like myself, I need to, because it hurts me too bad and it's damaging to me. And I don't want it to keep haunting me anymore. And I don't want you guys to be confused anymore. Because a lot of you guys want to know what's happening between me and Danny. You guys keep asking me over and over, why aren't you in his videos anymore? You guys okay? You guys still friends? Danny, done a lot of things for me. He helps me out extremely amount. When I was homeless, he let me stay at his apartment. He co-signed for my apartment. He did so much things for me. He did help me. And if you're watching this, Danny, I want to let you know that I'm very thankful for what you did for me. You have helped me out a lot. And I will never say you didn't help me, because you did help me. But there's a lot of things that I feel like I need to talk about. It's going to hurt me if I don't talk about it. And I know you won't say anything. And I know that no one else will say anything. I'm the only one that has balls to say anything. I want to say everything that's on my mind. And I want to say that everything that has been hurting me. And I want to say everything that has been done to me. And I'm going to try to talk to you guys like one-on-one right now, like I'm talking to you as a person. And everything I say, I want you guys to put yourself in my own shoes. When I started working with Danny, I was homeless. I'm about to move back to Ohio. I had like 30-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. I was there in Ohio looking for another job. Danny hit me up. Long story short, hit me up. He's like, hey, you want to come to LA? Want to be part of my team? I said, sure, I'm down. You want to be a big YouTuber? You've been doing it for 2 years. One of your favorite YouTubers hit you up and say, hey, Aaron, you want to come out to Los Angeles and film with me? You go out to Los Angeles, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? He's all nice to you. You already known him for like 2 years before that. It wasn't the same, you kind of hung out here and there, but you weren't like friends. He's like, asking me to be part of my team. Like, sure, He's like, okay, but I'm gonna put you on a contract. I'm like, okay, sure. What's the contract gonna say? How long? He says 10 years. Okay, that's what much. Let me ask around and see if that's okay. I just, asked around, asked my mom, asked my brother, and everyone said don't do it. But also a lot of people said I couldn't be a YouTuber either. I'm gonna sign this contract. Everyone told me not to do it, but Danny said to me, I trusted me. So I signed it when I started working.
It's like a long contract. That's interesting.
Working with them, and I noticed after being part of the team, I was already friends with a lot of YouTubers before that. I'm not gonna name names, and he had me unfollow all of them, which to me was really weird. I didn't like it, but I was kind of like, crap, like I'm with Danny right now. He's not gonna help me if I don't do what he says, and that's what I felt right there.
I mean, listen, I personally think that's a little weird, but then also, like, it's a business. What do you want me to tell you? Maybe like that, he might feel like, oh, well, now you have a contract with me. Part of the contract is you have to unfollow particular people because we represent these people, and you following somebody is basically like a shout out to them in some capacity. Like, okay, so whatever.
After I followed everyone on Instagram, I didn't want to, but I kind of had to stop hanging out with a lot of friends I made friends with over the years. Also, a lot of my friends were confused. They were reaching out to me. They're reaching out to my brother, my other friends. Like, why did Aaron unfollow me on Instagram? Why did he suddenly stop talking to me? The honest truth, right, he told me to unfollow that person. I lost a lot of
Well, that's an interesting thing, though.
friends. Like, why did Aaron unfollow me on Instagram? Why did he suddenly stop talking to me? Which to me was really a lot of YouTubers before that. I noticed after being part of the team, I was already friends with a lot of YouTubers before that. I'm not gonna name names, and he had me unfollow all of them, which to me was really weird. I didn't like it. If I don't,
what I find a little weird though is that he's like, oh, he told me to unfollow them. Okay, understandable. And then he said he mentioned that he couldn't talk to them anymore, but that was never a thing, right?
do what he says, and that's what I felt right there. After I followed everyone on Instagram, I didn't want to, but I kind of had to stop hanging out with a lot of friends I made friends with over the years.
Yeah, hanging out. Why did you have to stop hanging out with them? That was never part of the contract, and you never said that he told you to do that. It sounds like you had to unfollow them, but you didn't have to unfriend them. That sounds like your own personal choice.
Also, a lot of my friends were confused. They were reaching out to me. They're reaching out to my brother, my other friends. Like, why did Aaron unfollow me on Instagram? Why did he suddenly stop talking to me?
Why did you suddenly stop talking to them? You can still talk to people on Instagram even if you're not following them. Make a personal one or something. Talk to them that way. Get their phone number if they're friends. You know what I'm saying?
It's true that he told me to unfollow that person. I lost a lot of friends over that. And Aaron just suddenly unfollowed me on Instagram, suddenly stopped talking to me. Now he's with Danny.
Did he ever say like, "Hey, listen, I signed a 10-year some kind of contract with Danny Duncan, and I have to unfollow people because it's like a branding thing"? Why didn't he just say that? That sounds pretty professional.
Duncan, and now he's not a cool guy. I mean, it's not what's happening. Trust me. Trust me. But anyway, time goes on. I signed the contract. I made his videos. Long story short, more comfortable he got with me. More things started happening. Once he got his house in LA, he said I can move in there. So me, some other friends moved in there. And that's when things got a little weird because things started happening that I feel like I was not in control of. That's when things get serious.
Did he say he could move in, or was it like a hype house?
Things started happening. Once he got his house in LA, he said I can move in there. So me, some other...
That's a serious question. Was it a hype house? Because if he said he could move into his house, like whatever, like, that's just nice of him. But if it was a hype house, and that's part of the arrangement, and he's like, oh, he said he can move in with me, it's just a weird way to present that fact. You know what I mean? But okay.
Other friends moved in there, and that's when things got a little weird because things started happening that I feel like I was not in control of. That's when things get serious. When his basement went, and he started like wrestling, like I started wrestling kind of. And when wrestling, I'm on the ground, and he has me. And next thing you know, he starts just punching at me out of nowhere. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, what is going on now? I was so shocked. All I saw was a big flash, like a big light, and he's just punching at me twice. He's just like, bam, bam. And then there was other people downstairs, and at the time, like, what is going on? Did anyone just see me just get, like, I just got punched multiple times for no reason. No one said anything. Kelsey was upstairs. I walked upstairs, and I started crying to her. Not to make a wish or anything. I said, Danny just punched me in the head multiple times, and I was just confused. And then next time I looked at my head, and I was bleeding, and I had a big lump in my head. So I was just so confused why I just got punched in the head multiple times.
Was this like a bit or something? Like, why the fuck did he do that? I mean, even if this guy, I mean, that just why would he hit him in the head twice? I'm gonna watch the response for Danny Duncan after, but
impress someone downstairs. I remember there's people downstairs. Or he felt like he could because I'm in his house. That's all I could think about. But things got more worse. So there's a time when we're in Florida, we're at Tractor Supply. He was trying to get content. I was like, okay, I can lay on the ground and you can skate over me. I lay on the ground. And then I sat up and I was like, hey, I can give you advice how to like land it. Because he kept hitting me with the board. The date was March 3rd, 2020. I sent this text to Kels. He was skating over me and couldn't get it and got mad, threatened to hit me. Then I gave him some advice on how to land it. And then he kicked me in the head and he said, why are you talking? And said, this was your idea. And then I said, I'm trying to help you get content. That's what happened. I was trying to help him get content. Remember that. And then he said, "Stop talking," and he wanted to hit me with the board. Then said, "I wish I could kill him, and he could come back to life." So I remember when he kicked me in the head.
Wait, what? What the fuck? All right, sorry. I have to read this myself. He was skating over me and couldn't get it, and got mad, threatened to hit me. Then I gave him some advice on how to land it. Then he kicked me in the head, and he said, "Why are you talking?" And then said, "This was your idea." Then I said, "I'm just trying to help you get content." And he said, "Stop talking." And he went to hit me with the what? Yeah, it sounds like this guy's pretty violent. Said, "I wish I could kill him." And he said, "Okay."
The board. Then said, "I wish I could kill you," because everyone was around me saw it, and he could.
No timestamp on the photo, by the way. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's not necessarily always timestamps in text messages if it's like all on the same day. Is that what we're trying to say, that it's faked because of that?
Come back to life. So I remember when he kicked me in the head, I was so shocked right there. Because everyone was around me saw, and no one cared. And I remember I sent text to Kelsey that same day. I was saying that everyone's letting him beat on me. And that's what the problem I was having. Everyone's letting him beat on me. Everyone let him do whatever he wanted to me.
Let me just see if I can verify that. Yeah, I guess there's a... I don't know how old these messages are. I'm just looking at my text messages right now. And I don't know. Like, listen, I'm a fucking boomer.
I was saying that everyone's letting him beat on me.
I'm a boomer. So it's hard to take what I have to say seriously all the time. Let's see. Let me go to my fucking... Yeah, I guess... Yeah, I mean, if they're all on the same day, there's not going to come up with a thing on it. I'm looking at my shit right now. Like, if everything is sent in the same day, there's not going to have a timestamp on it. So that doesn't prove anything. I'm literally looking at my text right now. That's it. So that doesn't indicate that it's fake. There would be no timestamp on it if it's all on the same day.
With the board, then said, I sent text and beat on me. Everyone let him do whatever he wanted to me. And I don't know why. Maybe I can stick up for myself. There's another part. I'm just putting this stuff out to you because I want you guys to know that this is the type of position I was in. Like, we tease with each other.
Yeah, if you swipe right and hold it, it does show you. Okay, right. My point is that doesn't prove that it's fake just because there's no timestamp on it.
We have fun, and that's fine with me. I don't care about teasing. I don't care about that stuff. You know, it's all just fun and games, and we wrestle sometimes, and, you know, sometimes it gets a little annoying. It's like, oh, come on, man, I don't want to be a teaser now. But it got more than that. There was a part where I was in his bathroom, and I asked him for a favor, and then he, when I was like in his, I was like, I don't know. It just makes me sick talking about this. When I was in the bathroom, I asked him for a favor. Next thing you know, he put a knife to my throat.
I was against the wall in his bathroom. Oh, Jesus.
Put a knife to my throat. I was very confused right there. I was scared. I was scared for my life right there. I didn't think he was actually going to stab me, which he didn't stab me. But I thought there was a chance he was going to stab me, and I was scared. Like, I wasn't like, I'm not like a wussy or whatever, but I wasn't going to fight back. That'd be stupid of me. First of all, it was his house. Second of all, he is stronger than me. If I did anything, he would have stabbed me. So I just sat there, you know, let him do what he wanted to do to me, and just left it alone. No one cared after I brought this up to them. No one cared. They saw the position I was in. The only person that cared was actually my girlfriend. A lot of people didn't care. A lot of people just said, just don't talk about it. Leave it be. You put yourself in this position. But I trusted this guy with my life. That's how much I was so trustworthy to Danny. He was like my best friend. Like I was the type of person. I texted him a lot. I said, you know, you have a lot of people that are around you, and I feel like they're not your real friends. I feel like I'm actually one of your real friends, because I would actually like, if anything ever happened to you, that's how I thought I would actually be there for you. But no, I lost that trust with him. But it sucks. Only a few people in that household that saw certain things, and it sucks that no one would say anything. No one will confront him besides me. There was so much going on. A lot of chokeholds. There's a lot of hitting, and I couldn't do anything about it. I felt like
Well, I would say most of it was off camera. Does that mean some of it was on camera? It would be good to try to find some of that.
I remember texting Kelsey, telling her I don't want to be here anymore, but I don't know what else to do. I wanted to leave so bad, but there was nowhere for me to go, and I was so scared of what was going to happen if I left. I'm on a 10-year contract. I'm not allowed to collaborate with anyone really, because as part of the contract, I'm giving him 20% of my earnings, which he did have me invest some of the money. So there's a lot of nice things that Danny did for me and made me strong, and I took a lot of advice from. But there was also a lot of things that he weakened me and made me feel so, like, almost I hated myself, because I hated being there. I felt so lost and alone. I felt like the only time he would even talk to me or work with me is if I was getting either hit or if I was in his videos being a clown. The only way that I feel like he would actually accept me. And if I didn't do any of that, I feel like he wouldn't even acknowledge me. I was even in.
Is that part of the content? Was he like this fucking stuntman or something? Is that what he's trying to say?
Room. You know, he's telling me I'm your best friend, you know, I love you, I'll do anything for you. But it was like, but if we're real friends, why would you hit me? It wasn't just the hitting that he did, but it was also the verbal abuse he did to me. And that's not, I don't care too much about the verbal abuse, because, you know, he called, you know, whatever, I don't care. Some of it was funny.
Are you saying that Danny Duncan is aggressive on camera? Is that what you guys are saying?
Some of it's like on camera, even like calls me an idiot. But when we're just, you know, just me and him and friends, like down in the basement, and he just calls me an idiot. He can't comprehend anything. What are you talking about? I do know what things mean. He's always making fun of me about things about myself, about how I am, and how I, you know, even about my teeth, how my teeth are messed up. He always made fun of something. He always had to put me down about something. I need to say something. Something in my heart is telling me to say something, and I'm saying something, and I don't care what people say. And I would do whatever it takes for me to feel.
I like how there's two people. Someone's like, Danny isn't aggressive that bad. It's just jokes. And someone's like, yeah, he could be very verbally abusive. And the guy's like, it's just a joke. Okay. Like, we got to stop with the, it's just a joke. Like, it might be a character. It doesn't make the character appropriate. Like being a total dickhead, you know, to me, it's like if he's aggressive on camera and he's like if he's, well, we won't say verbally abusive. We'll say if he's like aggressive and verbally and physically on camera, there's a chance that that's who he is. Because most of the time, people's characters, in their content, it's just a version of themselves. You know, it's not a totally different person. It's like a code switch. There's still overlay between the two.
Feel better and me to feel comfortable and not to be scared anymore. Because right now I feel like I'm doing the biggest thing that anyone's ever done on your team, and that's by confronting you and telling people the real truth, what's going on. There was a time when me and Kelsey were there, we were so scared of Danny that we had to literally eat the cereal outside. We had to be so quiet. That's how scared we were of Danny. Because I knew if I made any type of noise, I was so scared he was going to come down and beat me. I had to live through that with him already. Imagine you keep punching a dog in the face. The one time, you know, you go pet the dog and it flinches because that dog got so scared that you're going to punch him in the face. That's what I feel like with Danny.
That's how it is with my wife. I don't beat my wife, but sometimes I just like we're laying in bed, and people know this. And I just do this to her face a lot, and I'll just like kind of fuck with her. So now when I go to touch her, sometimes she goes, "Oh my god, don't abuse me! I'm on the cops." It's just like a joke that we have between the two of us. I know this was probably an inappropriate time to make that joke.
Like, he punched me so many times. Almost every time, like, he comes to me and about to put his hands on me, I flinch because I feel like he's gonna punch me or something. That's how things have gotten with me and Danny. It wasn't a friendship anymore. I was scared of this dude. The reason why I stuck around, also, guys, I didn't want to be some wimp. But I also was scared. I also had nowhere else to go, no one else to run to. I feel like he's helping you. You know, he changed your life, dude. He did change my life for good and bad. I have good memories and I have haunting memories that I have to live with the rest of my life. But the good thing right now is that I feel so happy right now because I'm saying something that I've been wanting to say for a long time. If I don't, other people are gonna get hurt, and people might still get hurt. But I've seen too much. I've seen way too much. The answer to this question, why I'm on his videos anymore, is because of all this. It all added up. I confronted him. He didn't like that. He got mad at me confronting him. That's why I'm not in his videos anymore. It's not because I ran away and was a wimp. He didn't like what I was saying to him. He didn't like that I was being a man and approaching him like I should have.
Well, my question is a little bit like, I wonder what some of the details of this 10-year contract were, where this guy could have basically just been like, hey, I don't like working with you anymore. I'm going to walk away. Like, why? How does that make a 10-year contract? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? It just seems weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, what was the details of the contract? Because you would usually expect them not to be able to walk away. So why was the contract broken? From, I would imagine, Danny Duncan's side. Like, why did he let him go? I'm just curious, because it couldn't possibly have been 10 years. Oh, it hasn't been released yet? Okay. No, I haven't watched Danny's video on it. It's up next. But I have to watch. I watch it in order so that I can get this first and then go into here.
Have been in the first place. Right now I feel like I'm the one that did something bad, but it's not. I did nothing bad. All I did was I didn't want to get abused anymore. I didn't want to get disrespected anymore. It's the only thing. But everyone's so blind to it. So that's why we started separating more and more. You know, and then he started, you know, telling me, he started hitting me up more, saying like, you know, I love you, you know, blah, blah. But I just felt like, yeah, I don't know. I felt like I lost my trust with him big time. But he wanted to have some type of power over me, and he got it. There was a lot of times I did have fun, but a lot of times I realized like he's taking too far right now. Even though how much anger and how much hate I had, and I still have towards him. I've been trying to pray about it. I've been telling myself, I forgive Danny. I forgive him. I forgive him. When I first said that, it was the hardest thing to do. It was so hard for me to put out those words, I forgive Danny. Because in my heart, I don't. But I know I have to. I have to forgive him. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not just making this video to try to expose Danny. What would that do for me? Exposing Danny.
Well, this is what you're trying to do. And again, like, that's totally fine if this is true and you're trying to expose him. You don't need to be like, I'm not trying to expose Danny. It's like, well, you kind of are. But that's why, what you're saying is true, why would it be a bad thing to expose him? He sounds like based on what he's saying, sounds like a piece of shit.
What would that do for me? I want viewers, and I want fans, and I want family, and I want friends. I want everyone to know the truth. He was helping me, same time, purposely damaging me. That's what it really feels like. He was like, I see Aaron has a lot of talent, I'm gonna weaken him. And I'm trying to slowly grow myself back up to being strong again. I do forgive you, Danny, and I'm sorry for anyone else who's gotten hurt. And I encourage.
Why do you say that he doesn't forgive him, and now he says that he did? This is confusing a little bit. Maybe it's my COVID brain.
Those who have gotten hurt to come forward. Some people say they're the people they are and act the way that they are on camera, but I think most of the time it's not the person you think you're watching. I encourage those people who have gotten hurt by Danny to also forgive him. I'm so sorry for everything that has happened to any of you guys, because you're not the only one. I've got to the point where I was so lost. I was like, why am I getting treated this way? I don't understand. Will I be in Danny's videos? No, I would never be a social for Danny ever again. Will I ever see him again? One day, I can forgive him in person. But I already know what's going to happen. It's going to bring up how much he did for me. It's all he's going to do. I got you this. I got you a post in your apartment. It's all he's going to do. He would never say to me, I'm sorry for what I put you through. But I don't need him.
Yeah, I know somebody in the chat was like, I'm pretty sure the apartment he's in is fully refurbished by Danny. You guys should understand something, that like, just because Danny might be like a nice person to his friends doesn't mean that he's not necessarily abusive to his friends, you know? I'm not saying that he is. I know these are allegations, but you know, somebody doing a nice thing for, it's like if you smack someone in the face and then you're like, hey, let me buy you a car. Okay, I mean, smacking in the face is still a really wrong thing to do, you know?
Say sorry to me, because I already forgive him. I'm very grateful for what he done for me. I'm grateful I'm sitting at 300,000 subscribers. I'm grateful that he did co-sign for my apartment. I'm so grateful for that. So now I don't want anyone to say that you're ungrateful, because you know what? I am very grateful. I'm just telling you guys the truth and how I feel and what I had to live through. More things happened, and it just grosses me out how much I tolerated, how much to let happen. Whatever happens in my life, I want you guys to all know. I just really do encourage you guys, do not let anyone treat you a way that you shouldn't be treated. Don't let anyone push you around. Don't be afraid to confront that person. Whatever happens, you let the person keep abusing you, it's just gonna get worse for you. And that's what happened to me. I let that first punch happen to me. And after that, and the second thing happened to me, I didn't do anything about it. After that, you know, it got worse and worse. I was always just like, oh, please, someone say something. Not one voice. I'm gonna leave it with this. Danny, don't hurt anyone else. Don't hurt anyone else. And your lawyer can attack me all he wants, because I didn't do anything wrong to you. All I did was tell the truth. So you can sue me, you can come beat me up, but all I'm gonna say is I told the truth.
Well,
and
I
that's
doubt he
leave
would
it
beat you up after this. He probably would just, I'd sue you, but.
If I saw you in person, I'd look in your eyes, Danny, I would tell you the same thing I'm telling everyone else. Don't hurt anyone else. I don't care that you have more money than me. I don't care that you have more fame than me. It's not just me that you hurt, Danny. I know no one else will come forward. I know other people who got hurt. I know someone else you also abused and hit. It's not my business to talk about. I'm not the only one. You worked hard, man, but you don't deserve some of the things you have, because the way you approached it was not appropriate. You damaged so many people on the way. I had to sit and watch someone else cry because how bad you hurt them. Just don't hurt anyone else, man. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. This video is very, very hard to make. This took me a long time to make this video, guys. A lot of angry people at me after I post this video. And a lot of people who are gonna text me and say how much they don't like me, how much how I pretty much told the truth about Danny, how much they're not gonna like it, because a lot of people don't like to hear the truth most of the time. I already prepared myself for it. everything I'm saying is true. There's nothing, one thing I said to you guys that was not true. I have people who saw it, who will come forward, I know. And Danny, you can say whatever you want to say, whatever you want to tell your viewers, your fans, you tell them whatever you want. But as long as you're honest, just like I've been honest this whole time, I want you to be honest as well. I only want honesty. And I want you to know that you made me really sad and you hurt me really bad. I probably never would forget about the things you've done to me because I remember the bad so much more than the good. And you have a good heart. I've seen it. I've seen the things you've done for me. I've seen the things you've done for other people. I don't want anyone to hate on Danny. I just want people to know the truth. That's it. That's all I want, period. And like I said, again, I'm so sorry for those people that I've hurt. And if you guys need to come forward. Because I already feel a lot better by talking about this. You guys will never feel the same if you guys keep it inside you. And you worked so hard, man. You've done such a good job to get where you're at. And I admire you. But you don't need to hurt anyone to get there. Peace, Danny.
Okay. I mean, it didn't really come off as dishonest. Again, these are allegations. We can't just go act like they're true. But okay, this is, I think Keemstar, but I don't think it's anything extra or anything relevant or new. It's just talking about the situation. I don't think that he talks to the guy, so I don't think that it matters. Okay. What is this? What is this though? Hold on.
Over 9 million views, and the video of abuse like in the actual content, and we found this clip which just seems it seems off. Title of the video is Jumping Off of a Bridge, over 9 million views, and the video starts off with Danny Duncan breaking down the door while Aaron's in the shower. Roll.
What's up, guys? Just showered. Got a big day today. Aaron's holding us up. Aaron, hurry up.
All right, dude.
How much longer are you gonna be, dude?
5 minutes.
Dude, I don't have time for that.
Dude, all right, dude.
Hurry up.
Dude, hold on, man. I'm literally just got in, man. I haven't even put soap on yet.
Dude, put soap on then.
I am, dude. Shut up. Dude, oh my god, man. Dude.
Aaron, hurry
Hold
up.
on, dude.
Hurry up. We don't have time for games, bro. We don't have time for games.
Now listen, I get how, you know, you're trying to entertain people or whatnot.
Listen, this comes to a conversation about how pranks are fucking dumb. Because even if your argument is like, oh, Danny was just trying to prank the guy to make it maybe entertaining, that shit's still inappropriate. He kicked the door in. Looks like it hit him in the fucking head or something. Like, what is? Oh, it's just a prank. It doesn't prove anything, but it shows me like that. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. It's like a David Dobrik-esque. It's just alpha male shit. Okay. All right. Let's see Danny Duncan's response now. Let's see how he responds. Aaron requests to meet with Danny. Unhappy with not being in his videos anymore. This is just 1 of 3 meetings that took place. Okay. So is Aaron the Sun Hat kid? Is that who that is? The hat kid? Right? Is that Aaron? They were all recorded. Okay. Okay.
I just don't like when you start threatening me, like saying I'm like taking advantage of you and shit.
Yeah.
It just kind of bothers me, so I don't want to be put in that situation again.
Gotcha.
Because that's not how it ever was anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't want to be put. You start threatening me, like saying I'm like taking advantage of you and shit.
Yeah.
It just kind of bothers me, so I don't want to be put in that situation again.
Gotcha.
Because that's not how it ever was anyway.
Yeah. So are we just done? Are we done filming each other?
I mean, it's not like we never film again. I don't think it's like that. I'm not like how we used to, for sure not.
I gotta figure out how to what's next? Like, what do I do?
Just make your own videos. Just do good shit.
I gotta play smart. I gotta play a game. I gotta play the LA game, I guess, for a little bit. I just gotta do it.
What's the LA game?
What everyone else does. Dude, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know. I think I'm good at like starting drama.
Okay, so far we started off with they're talking, and I guess it starts off with, I wish we got the whole conversation, but it starts off with Danny saying, okay, just give me, I know I'm processing
It's not like
stuff,
when
but
you start threatening me, like saying I'm like taking advantage of you and shit.
okay, so that's not a threat. That's just an accusation of, hey, you're taking advantage of me. So this starts off of like, oh, I don't want to work with you anymore because you keep saying I'm taking advantage of you. I don't know what that means. Maybe he thinks he's taking advantage of him money-wise, or maybe he thinks he's taking advantage of him like physically and being like hitting him for jokes that are inappropriate to him. Aaron's very passive in this scenario. He probably could have spoken up more. But it's also possible that he wants to maintain his career and he wants to potentially work with Danny. This is where the power dynamics come in, where like it gets very uncomfortable for you to speak out very heavily against your boss, because then obviously that could really hurt your career.
Just make your own videos. Just do good shit.
I gotta play smart. I gotta play a game. I gotta play the LA game, I guess, for a little bit. I just gotta do it.
And Aaron even said that they were still friends.
It's the LA game. What everyone else does. Dude, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I think I'm good at like starting drama.
Okay. All right. So that obviously looks very bad for Aaron. He's like, oh, I'm good at starting drama. It could be related to that, or it could be completely unrelated to it, but it doesn't look good for him.
I think I like doing drama.
Starting beefs?
Yeah, starting beefs. I've been doing that for a long time, from the beginning. I'm gonna go back and just calm people out. I don't have a filter. I won't say anything.
So you definitely want to start drama?
No, I'm good at it though. I just one thing I'm good at.
This makes him look really bad. This makes him look really bad. Like, even if it's not true, how do you defend yourself from something like that? It's just not good.
Yes, I am. I don't have a filter. I will see anything online.
It's a good thing to start with, if you're trying to defend yourself against like a really bad accusation.
My name is.
Okay.
That's the thing. I don't care. I will talk about gay, so I don't care. I don't have a filter.
What do you say? I'll talk about gay stuff.
I don't have a filter. I will see anything online. That's the thing. I don't care. I will talk about gay, so
I will talk about gay stuff. Okay.
I don't care. I don't have a filter.
Dude, it's not good.
I just gotta do it. I have to. Or I'm not gonna grow. My views are crap. Man, you've been doing YouTube for 5 years. You're still seeing it. I guarantee you'd be losing your mind with me. That makes you so like mad.
It's all you're gonna do is make yourself sad and mad.
It is
and pissed off.
Well, you're not entitled to 5 million followers tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta do. I gotta make money, man.
So what do you think I should do?
Get a real job? I don't know. I don't know, man. This really hurts his argument. I feel like he came off genuine in his video too, but you really can't just move past this.
All I'm hearing right now is that I gotta do whatever it takes to make it. That's what I'm gonna do, I guess. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, make sure you pay back the deposit. What is it? Deposit on the apartment.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, work at Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. Oh, my fucking camera's going so blurry today.
It just makes me sick talking about this between me and Danny. Why aren't you in his videos anymore? No one will confront him besides me. If I don't, other people are gonna get hurt. And next thing you know, he starts just punching at me out of nowhere. All I saw was a big flash, like a big light. Bam, bam. I'm not the only one. I've seen too much. It doesn't hurt anyone else, man.
Dude, what's with the fucking music in the back? It's so serious.
Just don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm not the only one. I'm not just making this video to try to expose Danny. What would that do for me?
Well, yeah, he got a lot of views on that video, for sure, yeah. That's probably just what he puts in all of his videos.
And Danny, you can say whatever you want to say, as long as you're honest. Just like I've been honest this whole time.
Well, I guess that's kind of a catch there. I mean, it does look suspicious when he puts his, like, is that apparently a piece of his merch there?
You to be honest as well. I just want.
Yeah, like the optics wise, not really a good look. You usually wouldn't wear a piece of advertisement in your video. That's supposed to be genuine. You should usually try to be more, professional in this scenario.
People to know the truth. That's it. That's all I want. Period.
You hear about Aaron? What's your thoughts?
What happened to him? What happened?
He's trying to cancel me.
How the hell cancel you?
Here, I'll show you the headline. Hold on. Here. The truth about Danny Duncan. Danny Duncan physically abusing employees.
What the fuck?
Oh, it's Keemstar thing,
yeah. It's funny, like, Roger just has.
You know this guy's not gonna fuck with this black dude, though. That black guy would rock the shit out of him if he ever tried to fuck with him, so.
No idea any of this is going on. But, like, in our life, it's just the only thing talked about right now. Oh, you haven't seen the video either? I haven't seen the video. No, you wanna watch it? Well, I'm gonna put this on my second channel, because my main channel isn't really made for drama.
I'm not gonna wear this hat for this video today.
This guy, dude.
It seems as funny as hell, bro.
There's like someone behind the camera with a gun.
I was already friends with a lot of YouTubers before that. He had me unfollow all of them, which to me was really weird. I didn't like it. He's not gonna help me if I don't do what he says.
I'm not begging you to sign a contract. I don't give a fuck if you sign a contract or not. You're the one who wanted to make it. You're the one who wanted help. You're the one who wanted me to help you blow the fuck up. And that's what I did. I made sure you succeeded. That's it. As far as unfollowing people go, I never once was like, Aaron, you better unfollow these people or else. I just think it looks cleaner when you're following less people. That's it. And I don't think it matters if you're not following friends. Like, who gives a fuck? If you're friends with someone and you don't follow them on Instagram and they're no longer your friend because you don't follow them on Instagram, they were never your friends. I look at Instagram as a business. It is a business. That's how we make money. All the social media. So that's kind of why I just kept my shit at zero.
So it sounds okay. What's weird here, what's so weird though, is I assumed it was just part of the contract, and now Danny's saying that he just liked it and it looked cleaner, so he recommended he unfollowed people that weren't your friends. It kind of makes sense though, because Aaron mentioned, he's like, oh, he maybe unfollowed like my friends, and then they wanted to know why I wasn't talking to them anymore. But it's like, well, like we said, Danny never told you to stop talking to them. He just said unfollow them. So it would make sense that you weren't talking to them anyway, and he asked you to unfollow them to make it look cleaner, so that you didn't look like a weirdo that had like a following like 6,000 people, you know?
Just to like separate, I guess, like personal and business. Like, Instagram's a business. For Aaron, Instagram is a business. So YouTube's a business. It just is. Him making exposing the truth video about me is a business. It's gonna get views. It's gonna make him money. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's been working on this video for months and months and months and months and months. I've known about it, and of course he's gonna post it, in December, which is the best month of the year for monetization.
Next thing you know, he starts.
Is that true? Interesting. Isn't it funny that I got sick in December for COVID? I guess I'm losing the best month of the year.
Just punching at me out of nowhere. All I saw was a big flash, like a big light.
Dude, it's like, bro, this is a joke. Me and Aaron wrestle. We do jiu-jitsu, we do wrestling. Aaron's knee David in the stomach. Hey!
Okay. Well, that's not wrestling to me, though.
Aaron's knee David in the
a big light.
Dude, it's like, bro, this is a joke. Me and Aaron wrestle. We do jiu-jitsu, we do wrestling. Aaron's knee David in the stomach. Hey!
The problem I have with it, listen, I don't know the rules of this, right? You would imagine, from what I've seen when it comes to the jiu-jitsu, kneeing is allowed. So that wouldn't necessarily be like outside of what you're supposed to do. I don't really know. I'm not part of that. But there's a wrestling. You're not supposed to hit people in the face in wrestling, right? So to me, it sounds like he's trying to conflate two very different physical contact sports and say like, yeah, it was just a joke. I punched him in the head twice when we were wrestling. Like that doesn't make any. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of wrestling. I assumed the wrestling was like actual wrestling, Olympic wrestling. It's not allowed in jiu-jitsu. Okay, so then he went way too far. Fair enough. Okay. Okay, so jiu-jitsu. Okay, fair enough. But I wouldn't say okay. But punching in the face, interesting. I mean, honestly though, it's possible that like we chalk this up to these guys going like out of control and going too far and like hitting each other in spots where they shouldn't be. Yeah, if jiu-jitsu, yeah, I guess you can't. Let's see. Yeah, it's not allowed in Brazil. Well, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Is there a difference between jiu-jitsu and Brazilian? Okay, yeah, it sounds like it's not acceptable. Yeah, so I guess based on that, you really would just chalk it up to they went too far. Like they were doing like fucking physical contact and they went too far. They don't have knee pads on. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. They would have knee pads on if kicking was allowed. That makes sense. Okay.
Obviously, Aaron's choked Nick.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
He's drowning him, dude.
Yeah, this doesn't look good for Aaron at all. Why would he even bother coming forward with this shit? It sounds like it was like, listen, I think that prank shit like this is completely inappropriate. But what it seems like is that they would all get way too rambunctious, and then they would let like their shit take them over. Like, I don't know, like, this is some bullshit man shit where you start play fighting and then you're like, and then it gets real. It sounds like everybody did it all around, so.
I remember when he kicked me in the head.
No, come on, that's fucked up, dude. I've wrestled with Aaron, like, we choke each other, that's what happens. I've never violently hit Aaron in a mean way where I'm trying to, like, knock him out or something.
It probably did, but it seems like everybody did that.
I've never done it. I never fucking struck
him
in
in
the
prank
face.
shit like this is
you know what I
dumb.
mean? It's the only thing we ever did was just friendship, fucking around with each other, that's it. I mean, that's kind of why I haven't replied. Like, I don't even know how to. I have to, there's motherfuckers that actually think I abuse this kid. I'm like, what the fuck?
Imagine you keep punching a dog. The one time, you go pet the dog, and it flinches. That's what I feel like with Danny.
Speaking of fucking dog, this motherfucker left my dog in the fucking cage for fucking days, dude. This motherfucker almost killed my dog. Aaron did. Dylan. Aaron almost killed him.
We had to literally eat the cereal outside. We had to be so quiet because I knew if I made any type of noise, I was so scared he was going to come down and beat me.
Dude, shut the fuck up, bro. What the fuck? This dude is out of his mind. He makes a mess with everything. Okay, when he showers, he doesn't use a towel, so him and Kelsey have their own room with a bathroom. Dude, there was like so much water damage on the fucking floor. It was like just destroyed. Brand new house. Like we just got fucking water damage everywhere. I mean, dude, he just makes a mess. I am a dick at times. I'm not gonna ever deny that. This is Aaron walking around the house, dude. Upstairs, dude. Like, those memes, those videos where it's like, what the fuck are they doing up there? This is how I'd handle it. I mean, I'm not saying this is the best way, but I'm not a fucking abuser and I don't beat him. I'd be like, dude, Aaron, shut the fuck up. What, dude? I'm not stomping. You're the only fucking person up there, dude. Aaron, shut the fuck up. I don't want to be a dick. I'd just be like, yo, Andrew, can you tell Aaron to, stop fucking stomping? And Andrew would message him like, yo, stop stomping. And Aaron's like, I'm not stopping.
Dude, I wasn't even stomping. I haven't moved in an hour. I was upstairs, dude. I wasn't moving around. And if I did, I wasn't stomping. Don't you have work to? Okay.
Stomping. He's like, you're later, Aaron, you're the only person upstairs. Like, you're stomping.
When I was in the bathroom, I asked him for a favor. Next thing you know, he put a knife right to my throat.
This sounds like a porno, like intro. I was against the wall in his bathroom, just me and him. But yeah, I never pulled a knife on him.
And stabbed me. Well, he didn't stab me. But Because right now, I feel like I'm doing
I don't know, man. Like, with all this guy's credibility was pretty much shot at this point.
biggest thing that anyone's ever done in your team, and that's by confronting you.
How's this confronting me? Couldn't you just come talk to me? Like we did 3 fucking times, and you never brought any of this up one time? Because none of this happened?
And I encourage those who have gotten hurt to come forward. Just hurt anyone else, man. Just don't do it. It's not worth it.
I know no one else looking forward, but I'm gonna keep messaging everyone and try to get them to come forward.
The verbal abuse he did to me, even about my teeth, how my teeth are messed up. He always made fun of something. He always had to put me down about something.
But I was never putting him down. I was literally just trying to help him. It's like people talk shit about my teeth. I don't care like that this is chipped. I care if my teeth are healthy. That's the only thing I'm saying. But I can sit there and talk to him and smell his breath, and it just, you know that he didn't brush his teeth. I'm like, Aaron, did you brush your teeth today? No. But I never am like, oh, why you got fucked up teeth? I literally would just say like, bro, you have to brush your teeth.
They're just making fun of each other, you know.
Every fucking day. It's like there's no excuse for that. You're 24 years old. And like with him, I offered. I said, Aaron, look, we can take you to a dentist, and I said I'll pay to get his teeth fixed.
Tell myself, I forgive Danny. I forgive him. When I first said that was
I think people take it serious.
77,000 people like the video.
The answer to this question, why I'm not in the videos anymore, is because of all this. It all added up.
That is not why you're not in the videos, bro. This man begged me to be in the videos, dude. The reason he's not in the videos is because he literally said, I feel like you're sugar knighting me. So once he said that, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with it?
When an asshole steals from teammates' beats or copies someone for their own personal... What? I don't know what that means.
Like, what is he doing, dude? Why is he being weird, you know? He wanted to talk to everyone, so we all got together and talked to him. I have the footage. We filmed it. He never once said anything about bullshit knife. He never said anything about this stuff. He just said that the contract was ripping him off.
I mean, it's not like we never filmed it. I don't think it's like that.
So what's that?
I don't think, not like how we used to, for sure. No. I just don't like when you start threatening me, like saying I'm like taking advantage of you and shit. It just kind of bothers me.
Now, this is all after he's saying he's had enough, would never come film with me again, but yet he's asking, are we gonna film again?
I'm on a 10-year contract. I'm not allowed to collaborate with anyone, really, because that's part of the contract.
Bro, you're not listening. You're not listening. You are basically saying right now that I didn't let you collab with people. I've never told you not to collab with people. I just told you not to collab with these lame people. Never once have said, Aaron, why'd you collab with that person? Not one time.
Okay. I'm giving him 20% of my earnings.
I didn't take his money. I told him to take the 20% and invest in the stocks. I had him download like a Robinhood or an app like that. I told him to buy Apple stocks. I even told him if he lost any money in Apple that I would give him the money back. But
If you lose any money on Apple, I'll give it back to you. I won't lose money.
All right, I mean...
You will not lose money on Apple.
I made him invest the 20% into stocks so that it would help him like learn for future, because whenever someone gets paid, you need to take money and invest it every time, no matter what. Obviously, yeah, if the motherfucker in 5 years made 100 million.
I think Aaron even mentioned like that he like that he would some of it would go to stocks or something, or that Danny said. I don't know how much of it actually did go to stocks or not. But okay.
$1 million a year? I wouldn't mind taking some of the money. Of course, that's fair.
But also the verbal abuse he did to me. Calls me an idiot. He can't comprehend anything. What are you talking about? I do know what things mean.
It's hard for me. Oh gosh, I hate the mind.
That's why I feel bad for him, because it's like he can't communicate with us.
You sometimes can't comprehend things and just do whatever you want and think it's better. You think it's better than it is, but it's not.
This is what I'm saying though. It's like when he says I'm like calling, what did he say? He said I said he doesn't understand, he can't comprehend. But he says it like I'm talking shit to him and like I'm mentally abusing him and like putting him down. It's like I'm not at all.
So what's I do? I gotta switch my channel. No, I can't. I gotta switch my channel. I gotta do something different.
I have witnessed abuse firsthand. Like growing up, I've seen it. I mean, a lot of you guys know I'm sober, and like a big reason I'm sober is because like my mom was alcoholic. She married a guy who's alcoholic, and then as a kid, you know, for fucking like 10 years, I would watch her get beat all the time, fights all the time. It's just something I would never do. I never want to be a part of that, and I never want to be put in an environment like that. I never want to create an environment like that. I have no filter. I'll say anything. I have no filter. Bro, this man said, I have no filter, I'll say anything. No fucking shit, you will. He said I was scared to do too much noise, Danny would come down and beat me. Bro, goddamn. This man said, like, bro, what the fuck, dude? He said he came to my bathroom and pulled a knife on him in my bathroom. Dude, the only time I go to my bathroom is a fucking jerk off, dude. Legit.
Someone's like with my handy bathroom knife.
It's like, it is the end of an era, and it bums me out, dude. We have so many good memories.
I love Aaron.
No, I loved Aaron. I literally would have done anything for him. Anything.
Okay, sure. I guess that's that. I don't know if there's anything relevant from Keemstar.
BJ Paul.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything matters from it. Yeah, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's the first person, the girl, she has some credibility to her because she showed a screenshot of them like texting a little bit, and that they had a 5-day snap streak. So even if it was nothing sexual, it's still inappropriate. She apparently has evidence. Hopefully, she goes to the police. You know, obviously, I understand people would be skeptical about that, but she seems fairly credible. The Aaron one doesn't seem credible. I gave him the benefit of the doubt while I listened to it, and then once like watching the actual video from Danny, it just sounds like a bunch of them were fuck around too much, which they shouldn't have been doing, but they all did it, and they would all beat the shit out of each other, and things got too serious sometimes, and you got upset. So, you know, who had evidence for who? The girl. We're talking about the girl, the sexual assault thing. So yeah. There you go. That is my take on that situation.